Welcome to highlights of Stage 3 of the Saudi Tour with me, Jez Cox. The second longest stage, taking the riders from the oldest well in Saudi Arabia, the Tamer Haddaj well, down to Alula Old Town to use the same finishing straight that's going to be used for the final stage when the race comes to its conclusion on Saturday. In essence, this stage was seen as being an absolutely classic stage for the sprinters. The bonification point coming just before a downhill run into the finish line in Alula Old Town. Now, what did turn up today was the wind, causing two big echelons to form early on. Splitting the race to pieces and making things really difficult early on were both the wind and Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl. In the end, what came of it, though, was Anthony Turgis, the Frenchman from Team Total Energies, using the opportunity of the regrouping of those two echelons to attack away by himself. And it was a mighty impressive ride by Turgis as well, blasting his way through the sandstorms, head down to try and keep out of the way, and holding at one point in excess of 4 minutes of lead. He was, of course, the virtual race leader on the road. As we came closer and closer to the bonification point, though, it became obvious that Turgis was going to take it. But having gone through it, his lead was dripping down to just about 30 seconds. Looking over the shoulder, knowing his day was done. The extra bonus points being hoovered up, hopefully, by Anton Charmig, the Norwegian, but he didn't quite get it on the line, being pipped in the end by Rui Costa, who was third in the last edition of this race back in 2020, and once again hoovering up bonus seconds for himself. Anthony Turgis back in the fold, and it was Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl being led by Ilio Kaiser on the front there, ready to take advantage, and Kaiser did exactly that, choosing a moment into a slight crosswind to really rip the pace to pieces. In actual fact, what happened was Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl ripped their own team to pieces. Such was the attack of Ilio Kaiser. Now, after this point, Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl just throttled back a little bit, and for 5-10k we had different teams taking it on right the way to the final bend coming towards the finish. It was then all being set up for a big showdown between Caleb Ewan, Dylan Groenewegen, and potentially some of the other big name sprinters in this field, including Jakob Moresko and others. Groenewegen had the perfect final lead out from Luka Mezgec coming towards the line. Groenewegen ready to launch, and launch he did off that final little kick. Groenewegen getting the jump. Caleb Ewan just drifting his way up the right hand side as we look at them too, but as we came to the line, Dylan Groenewegen had just enough to hold the others off, and paying off the big move from Jumbo-Visma to the Australian team of Team Bike Exchange Jayco in only his third race of the year. In this race, he gets his first win, and looking delighted with it too. Danny Van Poppel was the Bora rider just on his wheel in green, and Dan McClay, the British rider for Arkea Samsic, a great final sprint in a straight line to take second. A good result early season for the British rider. Dylan Groenewegen, though, is back. We look down on Alula Old Town and what will be exactly the same finish for the final stage. Dylan Groenewegen has taken his win ahead of Dan McClay. Caleb Ewan, the cannonball-like sprinter, coming through to take third and finishing the fastest of that group as well. Dylan Groenewegen up on the podium, taking the plaudits and his triple chainring clock, of course. The general classification in terms of its leader is unchanged. Santiago Buitrago, yesterday's stage winner, maintaining his lead, but it's now a very slender lead over Caleb Ewan, who we know can climb particularly well. Do join us tomorrow for what is the Queen stage, the big 4k climb that finishes it all off tomorrow, up to the sky views of Harat Urawid, and it's going to be quite a big one, in excess of 20%, 22%. It's being called the Angleroo of the Saudi Tour. Join us tomorrow for that one. Do not miss it, because I think it's going to be a brilliant finale. How many of the sprinters will still be involved come the finish? Because there is 8 kilometres over the top of that one. Join myself, Jez Cox, alongside Brian Smith tomorrow to find out what happens in the Queen stage of the Saudi Tour.